Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live lesson. It's 4 p.m. here in the UK, GMT time. If there's anybody who's actually watching me now, please say hello to me. I would love to know where it is that you're from, why it is you're learning English, and how can I help you. So just let me know. I'm here for you now to answer any questions that you have. Maybe it's the very first time that I can already see that we've got somebody here. Hello, how are you? Why don't you just send me a message in the chat box? I do teach English online and I teach it via Skype or Zoom. So normally we can actually have a one-to-one conversation together. So, just say hello to me. I would love to talk to you. I think as well, though, you maybe need to be talking to me on a computer. So English has got 26 letters in the alphabet, but there are actually 45 sounds. So that might be a good way that we will start today, I think, until anybody actually just lets me know that they've got a question, and I'm here for you right now. So, yeah, as I said, I teach online via Skype or Zoom. And if you want to book a lesson with me, you can book a lesson right here at www.englishtutoruk.com. And as I said, lessons are personalized, they're one-on-one, and they're really good fun as well. Because I think learning a new language should be fun and it should be enjoyable. And all of the lessons are personalized and they'll be based on things that you like. So there's different sounds of English. So all of the letters of English have their own name, but they've also got a sound. So let's do this as the first lesson. So the first letter of the alphabet, which is also a vowel, and vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. And they've got the sounds A, E, I, O, and O. So the vowels are, and I'm going to just type this as well into the chat box. So A, E, I, O, and U. And their sounds are A, E, I, O, and O. So then we have the alphabet. That is A. And as I said, the sound is A. Then we have B. And the sound is B. Then we have C. And the sound is H. D. And the sound is D. E, which again is a vowel, and the sound is F. F, and the sound is a strange one, isn't it? G, and the sound is G. H, and the sound is H. And that's a sound in English that we don't use very often. Um, it's just like this. I, again, another vowel, and the sound is I. J, and the sound is J. I hope you're repeating these after me. Then K, and the sound is K. Same sound as C. L, the sound is L. L. M, sound is M. And if you don't already know, my name's Melanie. Melanie. Then N, and the sound is N. Then we have another vowel, and that's O, and that sound is O. Then we have P, and the sound is P. Then we have Q, and that sound is Qu. And R, and the sound for that, again in English, this isn't really used that often as much as in other languages, for instance, in Spanish or Portuguese. And that sound is like this. R, r. Then S, and the sound is S. T, and the sound is T. Then U, another vowel sound, and that sound is O. And then we also have V, and the sound of that is V. And W, and the sound is W. X, and the sound is the same, X. And then we come to the letter Y as well, and that is Y. And then now in English, British English, which is where I'm from London in England, and that sound is, well, the name of it is Z, or if you're saying it with an American accent, you'd say Z. But the name is Z, and the sound is Z. Okay. But then we also have some other sounds as well. And these are E, and as I said, I, and A, and then A, O, ear, ing, sounds very similar, don't they? Oh, R, oi, ow, and then ch, and sh, ear, I, o, o, and oo. So they are all of the different sounds. Now, then, so they're the sounds. So a noun, so all sentences normally would need a noun and a verb. And a noun is anything that you can see or feel. So, for instance, I am a woman, woman. But two is women, women. So even though it looks like it should be the way it's actually written is so one woman and two women. We actually pronounce it, and I'm going to put it like this in win in. That's how it's actually pronounced. Women, women, or in actual fact, more like this women. And you'd have one man, two men. You'd have one child, but two children, children. Okay, so they're things like nouns. As I said, a noun is something you can physically see or touch, or you can feel it. A noun, something that's real. And then a verb is a doing or an action word. So, to talk. I talk to you. So, every sentence in English needs to be like that. And then we say a subject and verb agreement. So look at this. So we're going to start off now with pronouns. So instead of keep saying women, you'd say something like this. So I am. So I am. And the am is the verb to be. So I am. My name is Melanie. So I am Melanie. You are. Why don't you tell me what your name is? So I am, you are. Then it would go, he is, she is. And I can't tell you how important the verb to be is, because many people, when they first start learning English, this is the verb that they learn first, and it's often the verb that they forget. And we have something called a subject and verb agreement, and it always has to be correct, because if it doesn't, it's a very easy way to slip up. So I am, you are, he is, she is, it is. And an it can be any noun. So, and then it will be we are. Okay, so that was the verb to be. and that's in the present simple tense. And the present simple tense is the main tense that we use. So it's for things that happen all of the time and for now as well. For things that as well can happen if it's like a schedule. Okay. And then the other main, and we're concentrating on the verb to be, and then we're going to do the verb to be in the past tense. So that was the verb to be, present simple. Okay, now let's do the verb to be in the past tense. So I was, you were, he was, she was, it was, much simpler, and they were. Oh, sorry, we were. And they were. And that's the verb to be in past simple. So that verb is, like I said, possibly one of the most important verbs that you need. Okay. Right. So I think that's all of we'll do for now of the verbs, but please remember those. Let's just go over them again. As I said, they are really important and you need to remember how they go. So I am Melanie. You are. He is. She is. It is. And we are. And then in the past, so for yesterday, or if you've already done it, I was, you were, he was, she was, it was, we were, and they were. So really try and copy my accent. As I said, if you ever would like to have lessons with me, I try to do them in a really fun way. Lessons are one-to-one. I as well will be able to obviously hear you and be able to look at you as well. Does anybody have any questions at all? You can ask me anything you want. Ask me anything. I can see that we've got people now in this live stream, so ask me any questions that you have about learning English. Does anybody have any questions? How about now we do some pronunciation? So this is going to be some pronunciation to learn the sh and the s sounds. So it's called a tongue twister. And it's to learn the sh and s sounds. Okay. So here's the tongue twister, and I'm going to say it very slowly, and I will also write it down for you. So she, shells, sea shells on the sea shore. Repeat it after me, nice and slowly. She sells sea shells on the sea shore. Nice and slow. Once more. She sells sea shells on the sea shore. Well done. Now it's called a tongue twister because once you have really practiced those sounds of sh and s, we're going to start to say it a little bit quicker. Okay, so let's do it. We'll do it slow again. Remember, it's to practice the shh, and shh is something that we often say to somebody to be quiet. Shh. And so practice it once more with me, nice and slow, and then we're going to start to go faster. She sells sea shells on the sea shore. Okay, now a bit quicker. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. You have to start to go really quick now, and this is why it's called a tongue twister, because you can only say it so fast before your tongue begins to go into a twist. So, she sells seashells on the seashore. 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 Can you do it as quick as me? She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. She sells seashells on the seashore. My tongue went into a twist. And it's a really fun way to help with pronunciation. There are lots of different tongue twisters in English. We will do these quite regularly. And just I just want to tell you as well that a seashore is where the sand meets the sea. Okay, and the sea as well it's pronounced exactly the same way as what you do with your eyes. So sea. It's obviously very important in English to have conversations and to hear the different sounds, because how would you know that that C like that is pronounced the same way? So C and C. So sea water pronounced the same way as see what you do with your eyes. Okay, and another word as well for seashore is a beach. Or the sand. English has rules, but they're often broken, which is sometimes why when people ask, is this word all right to use? Yeah, it often is. Um, but there are so many rules that are broken. Does anybody have any questions? You're being very quiet. Please say hello to me. Ask me any questions. Remember, ask me any questions you have. I'm here for you now to answer your questions, and I'm answering them live. Please ask away. I think you're all a bit shy. Does anybody have any questions for me? As I said, I live in England. I actually live in a town that's in the middle of England. And another word for middle is centre. So centre. And when you look at that, centre, that's how you pronounce it. That means middle. So I live in the middle of England. I live about 100 miles away from London. I do not really have an accent. I speak with a British English accent, and I hope you can understand me really well. I do hope so. I'm talking a little bit more slowly than what I would in normal speech, but only a tiny bit. So if you can understand me really well, that's good. Remember that to be fluent, it's made up of 4 parts, learning a language. It's reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And until you do really speak, then you will not be fluent, because speaking that is the fastest way to communicate, is to speak. So if you've never had a lesson before, I really do recommend that you have a lesson with an English teacher. You're best not to have gosh, a lot of people say that they want speaking practice. Go and have, but when you have speaking practice, how do you know that the person who you are speaking with is telling you correctly? They're helping you pronounce correctly. And also as well, a teacher will be able to explain very simply and quickly why something is a certain way. So I really do recommend that you have lessons with a teacher, because I've often taught people who know a lot of vocabulary, but they get mixed up because probably they've learnt from a friend, and that friend has never known or has never actually said, oh, you're saying that wrong. So you're best to learn the right way first of all, because otherwise it's a habit and it's very hard to break. Even native speakers will sometimes say the verb to be in the wrong way. and it doesn't sound right. Like I often hear people say, I was going, and that's native speakers. Ah, I am going. You often hear them say, I were going. I were going to London. I was going to London. So it looks like nobody's joining me on this live lesson. Um, can you believe it? We've already been talking for 30 minutes. Like I said, I can see that there are people here, but nobody has actually said hello to me. Maybe next time you will be a little bit more brave and you'll talk to me. I do hope so. So, as I said, please visit my website, www.englishtutoruk.com, and book a lesson. Make 2019 the year that you really learn English. And I would love to meet you and have a proper conversation because that is the fastest way to learn. And it's fun as well, not boring, not learning from a textbook because textbooks can be a little bit old fashioned and boring. And it's not fun if it's boring. So I am now going to say goodbye from England. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and maybe I might see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what time though yet. So I better go because I've got a lesson right now. Thank you for joining me. Bye.